discovered that the non-public children, the children that go to non-public schools, were not getting their fair share. It is based on the number of children. And in the past, they had not been given their proportion of it. And
Who's
therefore,
paying for the new Ellen G. Clark school? The one at Princeton Avenue, that obviously is not for public school students.
Ma'am, let her just finish her answer.
Excuse me, sir.
Wow, that's not even an answer. That's not even sufficient. This is the same way
I'm
we
just
talk
curious,
about
who
that.
finds out these,
Come on,
who
man.
decides whether the funds are being allocated?
this can be, you can easily look this up. The federal government will.
Where?
Yeah, right.
It has a website, the
Where?
federal
What's the
government.
website?
Excuse me, let her finish.
On what website?
Please, excuse me.
It's
Let her
public
interrupt her.
It
information.
took you, what, 5 minutes?
Listen, your
to
4
finish
minutes are up.
answering
If
the
you want, you
question?
can sit down. If you
I want
want,
the website.
I
fine. You know,
answered it.
after the thing, you go over and ask her. Excuse me. I'll have you removed from this room.
Officer
Well, I'm
Crawford.
gonna talk to her husband like this, okay?
Okay.
If you listen to stuff. There is rules and regulations. If you don't like it, I'll have you remove this room.
I'm
Yeah,
asking a question,
Please,
give me the
thank you.
website, you said it's easily
Listen,
found.
I'll take care of everything I need.
I don't
Trust me.
have it on me right now, madam, but we can
It's always
certainly
working.
on the
Where
You're
did
here
website.
fighting for your kids. You tell me it's not working.
If it was reallocated.
It is now 7 minutes.
Excuse me.
Only because you
It's
made it
not
that
going
way.
anywhere, but it is being reproportioned.
Where to?
That, the law indicates that it
What
must
law?
be. The federal regulation. Madam, I'm not going to argue with you, you can look it
You're
up.
obviously not going to
Excuse
answer
me,
my
excuse me.
question.
I think Mrs. Silver will speak to you after the public portion is over.
Really, because I called Ms. Silva, I
Okay,
said about
so fine. You know, so give us your number. Leave your number on the paper here with someone's phone. Michael, please talk to the next person.
There is no next person.
Well, now we
We
probably.
do have a bank of 8
Oh,
minutes.
yes, there is.
1 minute. Now,
Go
before
ahead.
you correct me, the question was, is there a next person on here? There is. Now,
They gave up
oh,
there.
Excuse me, this has to take noise to write. Oh, wow. Okay.
okay. We need to work in a collaborative fashion here. And we have no more. The question was, is there anyone else on here? There isn't. As I was saying, there is a bank, if I'm wrong, correct me, of 8 minutes, since 2 people, I believe, I think it's 2, yes, 2.
Actually, your record was 3.
Oh, that's why I asked correct me, sorry.
No, that's why you're supposed to be paying attention to the board.
Yeah, I am paying.
That's why I mean about the line side.
I know. 4-8-12, I learned that. 4-8, there's 12 minutes.
And that's a Lakewood education for you.
Dr. Fagan was Mr. Fagan was a great math teacher. 12 minutes and there is. So now I leave this to the board. You're terrible. Now I leave this to the board. It's a procedural question that only you can answer. There appears to be a large number of parents who are not familiar, or guardians, familiar with the process. The process is you come, you sign in. That's the process. That was not known, and could be. It is not known. The board policy is the board policy. You have relaxed it on other occasions. You getting this down? I don't see it writing. That is a board. The board policy would not allow this to occur. However, you have, again, anyway, go here, I make enemies. But you have in the past. But I sleep well at night. You have in the past an exception. My question, Ms. Silva, you have told the board, apparently there's something, and I'm not saying this is why the parents are here tonight, but something about restructuring, is that what they're, I don't know how to say, is that why they may be here? That's what I hear from my little friends in the audience. Oh, okay, you don't know. Oh, okay. So, I'm not trying. 1 minute, hold it. So the board policy says you have to sign in. They haven't. You have relaxed in the past, you can relax now. That is not a legal decision, that is a board decision. Would you translate, excuse me.
Él está diciendo que entiende que es la póliza de la Junta que tiene que firmar antes de comenzar la reunión. Ellos han perdonado cuando han hecho excepciones antes y ahora están preguntando permiso a la Junta si ellos desean hacer la excepción y usar los 12 minutos para el público.
There has been a suggestion that really if the parents are here for one specific purpose, maybe they can pick a spokesperson to represent Yeah, sure.
I would like to make a motion, because like I said before, we have never made it welcoming for the Spanish community to come here. We have never provided a interpreter for them to come and speak. I think that I'd like to make a motion that we give them, whomever wants to speak, the opportunity to do so.
Una persona puede hablar de parte de todos, pero el señor Chip está recomendando que no hemos dado una suficientemente cordial bienvenida a los de habla español porque nunca hemos tenido intérprete. Ahora debemos de darle la cortesía y permitir que ellos hablen.
Motion for the 3 slots that are available?
No, it's the motion to let whoever has come here tonight and stayed here till 10 after 10 to be able to speak. It's already late. I worked all day as well. I'm tired, but they came out to show their support for their kids, for their school. We should let them speak.
La moción es permitir que todos los que desean hablar y han esperado hasta las 10:10 que tengan la oportunidad de hablar. No solamente los 12 minutos.
There's a motion. That it means a second if you want to. I'm not saying.
I'll second it. Let them talk. You're supposed to have our kids' best interests at heart. The best interest is to hear the parents speak about what they want.
Come on, already.
That's right. Come on, our kids up at 10 after 10. You can stay here and listen to what we have to say. We all have to get up in the morning just like you.
If we could amend that motion to the 3 open slots, I would be able to say no.
Somebody second his motion.
All right, second. So one thing I just like to say, this is only open to the people that did not know about the signing in. If someone decides to come here, who knows it.
You're on your best.
Oh, gosh.
Que sean las personas que verdaderamente no sabían que tenían que firmar.
All right, let's go.
Mr. President, if I could maybe help your cause and that of Mr. Tipp. How many people are here with, 1 minute please. One minute. How many people are here? Wait, Irene, the way people make decisions is to have the information. Can I have 1 second? Why don't we just, are these the people who want to speak, who haven't signed in?
Estos son los individuos que quieren hablar que no tuvieron la oportunidad de firmar.
Mr. Hobday, you know the rules.
Suffering from amnesia.
William.
I get in here to sign.
Oh, you couldn't get in here. So now, we're going to get, William, we're going to get to you, but now we're talking. Wait, Irene, give me 1 sec. Are these, just watch this. Are these the people who, besides Mr. Hobday, who knew but couldn't get in?
There's more.
Come on, Mr. Seidler, please.
Somebody else had raised their hand.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so there are 5 people. We are spending more time arguing. There are 4 plus 1 is 5.
There's only 4 of them.
No, there's not, there's 5.
Cinco personas.
Sorry, I am very sorry.
Perdona.
What I was going to second his motion, providing those 4 people speak,
There's 5.
and that'll be it.
Well, there's 5 people, so
And where is the 5th?
she's waiting right there.
All
5.
right, 5 people.
You know the policy.
Okay, 5 people.
The motion would be 5 people.
No,
No.
maybe 6. I see Mr. Hartley's up there now.
We have to make a new motion for Mr. Hobday.
Mr. Hobday, you gotta speak Spanish.
So through the chair, the time, order. there are 6 people. Can we all on an A or nay? 6 people allowed to speak for 4 minutes. Any nays? Go ahead, please.
Buenas noches, mi nombre es Liliana Romero. Yo voy a ser bien directa, no quiero quitarles el tiempo, yo creo que se tendría que enfocar más en lo que queremos decir y no en ahora. Yo estoy preocupada porque mi hijo, es la primera vez que yo vengo aquí, ¿sí? Y mi hijo, él estuvo estudiando desde el kinder hasta el 3er año, solo español. Y para mí eso, perfecto. Cuando él entró a 3º, lo pusieron en solo inglés. Y hubo un cambio muy drástico porque él bajó de calificaciones mucho, ¿no? Entonces, el español está muy bien, pero ustedes quieren hacer cambios en las escuelas porque dicen que no pasan el examen del Estado. Pero ¿cómo lo van a pasar si solamente están enseñándoles en español? Yo creo que si la principal lengua es el inglés tiene que ser desde el principio. Porque de lo contrario, el examen no es que no sepan, nuestros niños son inteligentes, pero no lo pasan porque no entienden las preguntas. Por eso, entonces yo digo que si van a hacer cambios, yo creo que es el sistema de educación que traen desde el principio, no a los maestros. Los maestros por algo son maestros, solo que el sistema hay que dar un pequeño cambio. Ese es mi pensar y mi preocupación, porque mi hijo lleva los 2 idiomas y es muy bueno para mí, hasta a mí me traduce, ¿sí? Pero él está un poco atrasado porque lleva las cosas a la vez. Es todo, muchas gracias.
She's very worried about her son because he has been in a Spanish program, Spanish bilingual program since kindergarten, and he entered a monolingual program when he was in 3rd grade. His grades have dropped considerably now that he's in an English only classroom, and she feels that if they need to pass this test, and it should be done in its native language, and if the first language is English, then they should be beginning their educations in English so that they'll be better prepared for the test.
Okay, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Rocío.
Is there, I guess there's no response.
Well, what's that? I just myself, like, how does it work? First we use Spanish only? Does it work?
Now, there is an assessment that's given, there's an assessment that's given, a language proficiency, and then children are placed in different classes depending on, number 1, their language proficiency. So we give children an opportunity to be in a bilingual class. The purpose is to move from first tier, what we call first tier, it's the first level, to the preceding levels, which are tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. Simultaneously, the children are supposed to get English as a second language, so that in fact the children do get exposure to the English language progressively, with the intent that eventually they will master English language, although all the research says it takes much longer to master than 4 years. Mommy has indicated that she was concerned about the state test. We are too. It is much too quick for many children to take the standardized test in a second language. However, the state education department obligates us to test everyone, whether they're ready or not. Now, one of the things that I would like to say to the mother is that we are working, and we have a committee for bilingual education where we are looking at it so that we can assure that the bilingual program, which is a transitional program, my own preference personally is a dual language, but we don't have that here. The transitional program, its purpose is to get the children to speak English as quickly as possible. And we are looking to make sure that they just do not speak enough English to get by in the yard. It's really important for them to develop academic English. And I think that's what the mother was indicating, that her son is having difficulty. We in the district are looking to make sure that we revamp, we restructure the bilingual program so that it is more geared towards the child, the individual needs of the child, while keeping in mind that they have to master English. So in essence, I'm in agreement with Mom, we have to do a little better in terms of the bilingual program.
Can we just say that in Espanol for the mother of the year?
La superintendente estaba explicando que el diseño del programa que tenemos en estos momentos es donde hay un proceso de transición donde ellos se mueven en diferentes etapas para el inglés, pero ella prefiere otro programa que se llama el lenguaje dúo. Sí, que ella está en acuerdo que hay un comité en estos momentos para revisar y reestructurar este programa.
To the chair. I have a question. People speak, I think I write things down. The mother brought up a good point, and Ms. Silver also brought up a point. She says that when the students have to reach the next tier or the next level, that they're supposed to be able to be proficient and or make that transition to the next level. Are the students tested before they make that transition? One, are they tested? Number two, it's regulated through the state that regardless of if the kid, if the student, if the child knows how to speak or understand the testing, it just appears to me that we don't have a fighting chance for these kids to pass these tests. We're saying that, okay, they have to take the test, and we're not sure that they're proficient in what we teach them. That's why the test scores maybe are so low. Maybe it's not what the teachers are doing.
Vice President Tim, that borders a little too close to blaming the kids. And I don't think that our reality is that our children come in and they are, the majority of children that are now entering the Lakewood schools are second language learners. They come in speaking another language that is not English. It is our responsibility to reinforce ESL, the bilingual program, so that they do make that transition. And all of us, and that's one of the things that we are doing next year, we are trying to provide training for all our teachers, because teachers didn't face this in years past, but it is now very, very much a need in Lakewood, because a great number of our children are second language learners, but it should not be seen as a deficit. It should be seen as something, their reality, and now what we do. The other thing I wanted to say for you to translate is that parents can choose not to be in the bilingual program, because I think I heard the mother say she would have preferred that he started English. That is her right. What we will provide in a case like that, where a mother says, okay, I don't want the child in a bilingual program, which again I repeat is her right, that we will provide English as a second language throughout until the child can then master. So there's a couple of things that mommy may not have been aware of, and one of the things that she has the right to choose which program she wants for her child to become to have proficiency in English.
El señor vicepresidente, el CIET, está diciendo que quizás entonces por eso se explica por qué nosotros no podemos pasar nuestros exámenes, y será porque no son los maestros, sino que son la forma en que nos estamos preparando con el currículo y el programa. La señora Silva nos está diciendo que entonces estaríamos muy cerca de culpar a los estudiantes entonces, y eso no es también correcto. Y dice que ella, quizás la mamá no sabía que ella tiene el derecho de optar no recibir servicios bilingües y entrar inmediatamente en un salón de inglés con un poquito de ayuda como una maestra de ESL.
Ok, buenas noches, mi nombre es Rocío. Si estamos aquí es porque estamos preocupados, pero necesitamos ser escuchados. Esto no es un circo, es algo serio, necesitamos soluciones y no estar, tienen que escuchar y no estar pensando que una persona se extendió más de 4 minutos. Yo creo que si vinimos aquí tenemos que ser escuchados. Nuestros hijos están en la escuela, son el futuro, y ¿qué está pasando? Pero esto no es un circo, a veces lo toman, están cansados. Por favor, necesitamos ser escuchados. Si nos quedamos hasta esta hora es porque estamos preocupados, porque queremos soluciones. Y no estar pensando que es tarde, que se pasó una persona de 4 minutos. Para mí eso es ridículo. Gracias.
She wants to say that if parents are here at this hour, it is because they're extremely concerned about the education of their children, and that this should not be a circus, but instead, we should not be worrying about exceeding the 4 minutes, but hearing the actual concerns of the parents.
Buenas noches, gracias por dejarme hablar, porque sé que tenía que firmar un papel y yo no lo sabía, pero de todas formas gracias porque me van a escuchar, pero si quisieran lo mismo, que me pusieran atención a lo que yo voy a decir. Yo vine aquí porque yo estoy preocupada por la educación de mis hijos. Yo tengo entendido que van a cambiar a la principal a partir de Daniel, y la van a remover de ahí y la van a mover a la high school, y que de la high school van a mover a la principal y la van a poner en la claro. Yo lo que quiero, si se pudiera evitar, porque yo no tengo hijos en la high school, pero sí sé que la principal ahí no pone orden ni nada de eso. Yo no quisiera que mis hijos estuvieran, por decirlo así, bajo los cuidados de ellas. Como personas a ellos que ellos no escuchan o no ponen atención porque ya están aburridos. Pero, ¿qué pasaría si a ellos, a sus hijos les pasara lo mismo? Que llegaran una vez que van a mover a la principal de su escuela porque no está haciendo bien su trabajo. La preocupación es cómo van a seguir estudiando mis hijos, qué futuro les espera a ellos, si dicen que ella apoya a los delincuentes. Es eso, y de los maestros que van a recortar a los maestros, si así no pasamos los exámenes del Estado, si recortan a los maestros, yo creo que menos.
She wants to say thank you for listening, even though she did not sign in. Now she knows that she has to. But to please pay attention very closely. She's worried that Mrs. Marty Daniels is being transferred to the Lakewood High School, and that the Lakewood High School principal will be transferred over to the Clark School. She said she would like that to be avoided if at all possible, because she, though she does not have a child in the Lakewood High School, she is well aware that, or she has heard that the principal does not put order within the school, in the Lakewood High School, and she does not want her kids under her supervision. And she says, what would the future of her child be if they're going to have a principal who supports delinquent behavior?
Superintendent, would you ask the name of the person, the number, so she understands what's the name? No, thank you. Okay, just in the future, if she would like, just so the policy is known in English and Spanish, its name and address in the future.
Okay. Que la próxima vez, cuando usted quiera hablar, la póliza lista que tiene que decir su nombre y también su dirección, no me decís.
We're just trying to get the policy.
Solamente para que quede la póliza.
Disculpen porque yo en realidad nunca había venido a
She
eso.
said, my apologies, I've
No,
never
it's
come to this kind
not.
of
It's all right.
Yo vine ahora porque
Ahora, yeah.
She said she's worried. Okay, she said she's sorry, but she's very worried about her kids.
No, sorry.
Hola, buenas noches, mi nombre es Ella y vivo en la 80 de la gente. ¿Está bien? Yo lo que quiero decirles es que ¿por qué quieren cambiar a la directora? La directora está bien, los maestros también están bien. Yo pienso que ustedes están equivocados. No sé en qué forma piensan que los niños van mal, si quieren cambiar a los maestros. Los maestros están bien, yo pienso que a veces también los papás vamos mal porque si los niños llevan una hoja, a veces no le ponemos atención, no revisamos qué tiene, no les ayudamos.
She's saying that she still does not understand. Usted dijo que la transfer estaba hablando de qué principal. Okay. I just wanted to clarify. She's talking about the same principal, Mrs. Marty Daniels, that's being transferred out, and she says she doesn't understand, and she believes that you are mistaken with your decision, and that she is doing well, and that the teachers are doing well, that those changes are not necessary, but she does feel that she is partly responsible, and that the parents are partly responsible for not being on top of the kids with their assignments. So that they're limited in how they can help. She says que sí, no puede.
She has more time.
Tiene más tiempo.
Porque yo, mi hijo va bien en la escuela y yo pienso que la muchacha se equivocó en decir que ella, su hijo, se lo cambiaron de un día para otro a inglés. Eso es mentira, porque mi hijo iba, desde que empezó la escuela iba en bilingüe, llevaba maestro inglés y español. Y cuando él pasó a tercer grado, a mí me mandaron una hoja que decía, su niño ya sabe inglés, lo vamos a pasar tal día a puro inglés. Y sí me lo pasaron y yo estoy muy contenta con la escuela clara. Yo pienso que ellos, si ellos tuvieran hijos en la escuela y les pasara lo mismo, que tienen que cambiar, su director no iban a estar igual que como ellos están sentados ahí y si hablan un papá o lo que sea se empiezan a reír. Y yo pienso que, como dijo la otra muchacha, eso no es un circo y nosotros no somos sus payasos para que se empiecen a reír de nosotros.
Okay, she said that she disagrees with the other parent who said that she was suddenly transitioned into a monolingual classroom and that she was well informed throughout the entire bilingual program, that he was mastering English and that's why he transitioned over in 3rd grade and she received that formal letter telling her that her son knew English now and was well prepared. She says that if she doesn't believe that you guys would be sitting there laughing and joking around if it were your kids whose principal were changing, and she does not appreciate the service.
Thank you. Mr. Halte.
First of all, thank you, Board, for this good tonight. First thing I want to say is I'm absolutely honored to be here tonight among the students, parents, teachers, board, administration, all of you stakeholders that are coming together to demand a better education, a thorough and efficient education for Lakewood public school students. We owe it to them. The court has ruled time and time again that a thorough and efficient education is absolutely required by law. Now, what does that mean? Sometimes it's difficult to deliver and sometimes more difficult to interpret. The courts haven't been able to interpret it well. So what we have to do is redouble our efforts. What we have to do is say, what are our problems? What is standing between us and having a passing district or delivering the kind of education that is required? And on the other hand, why isn't, if we are delivering it properly, why is it not being accepted properly? So it takes both ways, is the teaching and is the students taking on that education that need to readdress and redouble their efforts to make this a going process whereby we as a community have a better way of understanding how we're going to get to the next step on this, because we must come out of this situation that we're in. We must improve our methods on how we educate. I've heard wonderful scenarios today about upgrading our computers for the 21st century to allow students to think and learn digitally. Many children begin with the digital equipment in early childhood. They understand that, and that's how they play, and that's how they can learn. So I think, again, wonderful opportunities. Please, let's all redouble our effort. Let's make it a point that we say, aha, if this is not doing well, this program or this person or this situation, let us fix it. Let's put something in place that will, and let's continue to upgrade the facilities. Let's keep on upgrading the educational process, and let's us speak to our children and parents and make sure that they understand the children, it's not that they have to go to school, they want to take on this education because it is their future and their livelihood. Thank you.
Está diciendo que se ha centrado en estar entre todos y dice que por ley tenemos que proveer a nuestros estudiantes una educación que es eficiente y eficaz y debemos de doblar nuestros esfuerzos o multiplicar nuestros esfuerzos para poder pasar las calificaciones. Que por favor se comuniquen con la comunidad para estar al tanto de cómo vamos a salir de esa situación donde seguimos reprobando.
Raina Brown, 136 Delaware Trail. The last meeting I attended, I spoke about my son, and I would like to thank the board for jumping on top of it. In addition, my son got A's and B's and 1C, so I thank you so much for that. Also, I just like to talk about the teachers, since I do work with them and I am a substitute. I see them working hard. I see the students constantly working. The only time they do have a break is during special or during their lunch. But the students, I can tell you that they are working hard, parents, and I do see it, and the teachers are working so hard with these kids. I mean, constantly. I see it every day as I peek into the classroom or as I sub or in there, and I want you guys to know that it's not being neglected. In all the schools that I have been, I would like to applaud all the teachers because that work is so hard. And this week, during the test week, the kids were excellent. Everybody said the test was good, and the teachers helped them out. They really felt comfortable as long as their teachers were teaching them what they needed to know, and they did need to know the things that were on the test. Also on the agenda, I didn't see anything as far as like substitutes for next year or the lunch monitors. And also, Miss Marty Daniels was my principal at Oak Street School. She molded me to what I am because I used to be a behavioral child. One that didn't want to listen, but I looked up to her. And she made me, like I said, who I am. And I'm so happy that they're out here today to support her. And I don't really think that she does belong in the high school because of certain situations as far as students and behavior. And once they get punished by her, it goes to another level as far as her husband. And I think we need to look at that concern because I'm looking after the wife of Miss Marty B. Daniels. And she is a wonderful principal. And so are all the teachers and all the principals that are here today and the ones that are out. But I do like to answer on the one about the sub and the
Quisiera agradecer a la Junta de Educación porque después de presentar el problema con su hijo, en la última reunión ellos le ayudaron y fueron muy ayudaron con la situación y con su hijo. Ella también quiere decir que ella como sustituta ha visto que los maestros están trabajando muchísimo en los salones y que no están siendo negligentes en la educación de nuestros estudiantes. Quisiera saber también por qué las posiciones de las sustitutas y los que ayudan con los almuerzos no están en la agenda. También quiero recomendar a la señora Marty Vidaños y que dice que hay una situación muy complicada donde no debería ir a la escuela superior debido a su situación personal con su esposo. Y que ella fue de gran ayuda con ella cuando ella estuvo en la Oak Street School y que ella también fue una niña con problemas de comportamiento, pero ella le ayudó.
Ms. Brown, in terms of substitutes, as you know, we have one individual who calls them in.
No, not call them in. I don't think they were on the actual agenda like for next year, the ones that are supposed to be for next year.
I will ask personnel about that, but I wasn't aware that they have to be on in there.
No, right here, on the actual agenda, yes, they are. They tell you like if you're going to the next year, what subs are.
Then they'll probably be in June. Thank you for pointing it out.
Thank you.
Ms. Silva.
Oh,
sorry.
It's, I apologize, the student rep of the Board of Ed is here. I should have really acknowledged her before I let her speak. Just remind me on how to speak first. Okay, please take your words. Yeah, 1 second. Yeah, oh, yes, that's right.
Hi, for those who don't know me, I'm a junior at Lakewood High School. A lot of cases today. I just want to say that this past Saturday on the 7th, the Lakewood High School was a host of the SAT, which many kids from not only Lakewood, but also Holy Family and Jackson. We had a couple kids from Jackson come and take the SAT. I really want to thank Frau Gregson, my German teacher, because she did prepare us even though it wasn't her job. She taught us more than enough that made us do way better than we may have done on the SAT. And I just want to say that because of her, I know I did way better. I know in my head that I was saying some of the things I learned in German and was translating into German to actually help me take the test. Also, I want to say about the dance that the Lakewood High School is having tomorrow as a junior class fundraiser. And also we have prom coming up on the 27th at Eagle Ridge.
Mr. President, yes. I've been made aware by the union and others that letters were sent out honoring Teachers of the Year. Some have left already because of the hour. We also don't have the cake we ordered here for the Teachers of the Year. So, are there any Teachers of the Year here? If you could stand up, please. Stand up. And if we could please ask you and the others to come next meeting, we will be the first order of business, and we will have our cake and eat it too. So we're sorry, it wasn't intentional. Just so we're clear, the earlier comment made about, which I'm sure will be on that rag. Yeah, we were just, when I made that comment, just so we're clear, the township tonight was voting on the budget, which we have gotten the resolution already. So we are going to be discussing that shortly, so the public should think we're not. That's where I was trying to get it didn't come over the facts. But again, the Teachers of the Year, we are going to have another meeting. And we're going to honor you as long as the board agrees, which of course they do, at the next meeting. So Teachers of the Year and those who are not here, if you could tell them, you will be the first order of business. They sent it out for tonight, didn't they? So we're going to send another letter, and we're going to have a festive time at the next. Okay. As Mr. President, I would like the public to know that they do have a right to know. We did receive a resolution from the Township of Lakewood, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey. There's the usual verbiage in there. They have cut, and Ms. Miller, if I'm saying this incorrectly, you can correct me. That's what I was trying to do. They have cut $108,000 a year, $108,000 from line item that appears 11 1XX 100 270, which is called health benefits. On here it says salaries, but the line item appears to be health benefits for $108,000. The board has two choices, or several choices. They can accept this and that part of the night is over. They can appeal this to the commissioner and the chips fall where they fall, or they can take that cut and apply it where they so feel, since the superintendent would make a recommendation. I repeat, the superintendent would make a recommendation, and then the board has the right to accept that. So let me give this out, because this has to be done publicly, because as far as I know, it is not an exception to the open sunshine. I'm here this evening. Let me just give everyone a piece of paper so no one has an unfair advantage. We don't have for you because we just got it. We just got it via email. You can have mine if you'd like, but I'm going to give it to you. Just give me. This was not staged. As we all know, those who don't, the township had their meeting, I believe at 7:30, I could be off, and we did get this. So now everyone on the board Again, the first page says they've met and they have obligations, and everyone has obligations. And then they say, whereas, this union, whereas the township committee, and I'm just reading part, has both reasonably and conservative in its review and recommend reductions in the line item specified budget category. It does say 210 salaries, but 1111-1, which I said earlier, it's crossed out a lot, manually written, but from what I've been told, and if anyone knows differently on the board, please advise, but it's 108,000 from if that line item, which Ms. Miller showed me on page E10, it's under regular programs, instruction, employee benefits, health benefits. And then it says, the township hereby certifies to the Ocean County Board of Taxation and to the Ocean County Superintendent of Schools the following amounts relating to the general fund to be raised by local taxation for the Lakewood Township School District 1112. A, the original tax levy on the ballot for general fund was $70,346,004. The amount of reduction on the tax levy, $108. I did not check the math, but the amount of tax levy certified is $72,380,004. That's the deduction. The revised budget is sufficient to provide a thorough and efficient education. The Township Committee hereby certifies to the Ocean County Board of Taxation that the amounts necessary to be raised by taxation for school purposes for Lakewood Township current expense budget $70,238,004, debt service $949,476, F total amount of tax levy for school purposes $71,187,480. The Township Committee hereby certifies that the revised school budget for the Township of Lakewood for 1112 containing the line item reductions and noted above in accordance with the reasons such as expressed herein is sufficient to provide a thorough and efficient system of education in the township. The township clerk is hereby authorized and directed to file a certified copy, and then there is some more procedural. So does every board member and the superintendent and assistant superintendent have this, and the BA in disguise have this document? Seeing you have all this document, seeing that we've given it to the public, seeing you have, as I said, those following options, which we now defer, I will instruct, you should defer to the superintendent to make her recommendation, and then you, of course, can engage not in a circus, please, but in a discussion which is part of democracy in our country. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Recibieron ahora el reporte del voto que hicieron en el Comité del Pueblo, y eso fue una reunión que hicieron en el pueblo en el día de hoy, esta noche, y han decidido aportar $108,000 del presupuesto que debe de salir de los beneficios. Hay tres opciones. La Junta de Educación puede aceptar que se corten de los beneficios, puede también apelar al comisionador, o tercero, puede tratar de aplicar esos cortes de $108,000 en otra área, dependiendo de la recomendación de la superintendente.
Okay, now, Superintendent.
I have met with a number of people, including people in the township, and yesterday I met with the Finance Committee, the subcommittee of the Lakewood Board of Education. And while this amount, I was asked by the township to reduce, and I had to look, and it was very difficult to do, but I had to look at a place that would not hurt staff, it would not hurt children, and it wouldn't hurt parents of the public schools. So one of the things that I am now recommending for the board to consider is that with great regret, the only area that I can truly recommend to cut is the community school services. The community school provides classes for many adults, things like knitting, things like camera, things like golf. It takes place, it's very commendable. It takes place in the high school as well as the Clifton Avenue School. Two very important parts of the community school, which was GED and ESL, will be continued. They will be continued through another source.
St. Francis Prep currently does the GED program at no cost to the district. At the high school, and GED, and the ESL is
Takes
done
place at Clifton.
Clifton through St. Francis, I believe it is. I believe.
Therefore, I could never agree to any reduction. I don't even think the township can legally say that employee benefits have to be reduced. So therefore, I'm recommending to the board that we terminate the community school.
Through the chair, if that was done, that would be line item 11-800-330-100 for $88,000, and 11-800-330-270 for $20,000, thereby equaling $108,000.
La superintendente está recomendando que se corte un servicio comunitario escolar y ellos proveen cursos educativos para adultos en la área de golf, museo, etcétera, pero eso no va a ceder el programa de GED, que es muy esencial, y el programa bilingüe que educa clases de inglés para la comunidad no serán cortados.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation with her infinite knowledge of cutting $108,000 from the community center for the budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's 2 seconds apparently. Mr. Greenspan seconded. Is there discussion? Is there discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Dillon.
Mr. Brumhut?
Yes.
Of course. Mr. Greenspan?
Yes.
Mrs. McKeo?
Yes.
Mr. Seidler?
Abstain.
Mr. Silver? Mr. Tick?
No.
Mr. Slacken?
He left, unfortunately, had emergency.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we do have an agenda still with addendum. We do, though, and I'm sure you will understand this. Is someone hurt here? No. We have an employee or employees who have asked for a right to speak with the board, which is their right, in closed session. One did, others are here. We need to give them that right. I'm sorry, but they waited also since 6:30. So we're going, what we thought we would do, we'd hear the public, which we did. We took care of the budget, which we did. That we would go, the discussion was to let the employee, unless that's so changed by the board, to give that time to go into closed session, because the employees requested that, and that's their right, and to finalize and finish some other unfinished business. There will be action taken tonight. So if you want to stick around, so do, but we do need to do what employees have rights, and there is business we did not discuss. So we need a motion to go into closed session.
Make a motion.
Seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Please, if you want, we will be taking action.